All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Davy Jags, and this is Sparkle On. Sparkle is your happiness, passion, and self-worth, and we are always discovering that sparkle through the power of creativity. Today, I have my friend, Casey Hodge. She is an actor, model, content creator, and now an author. So I'm really excited to get into her creative journey and obviously, really get into the psyche behind being a multi-hyphenated artist. Casey, when was the moment, and I always feel like, at least for me, and most people, I do believe this.
Yeah.
You know who you want to be when you're a little girl, and we just kind of through dreaming, and then reality hits, and we just shove it down. What was your first memory of knowing I want to do this when I grow up?
Well, I don't think I ever shoved it down.
I love that.
I think
That's
it was
important.
very much there. I was, pretending to be Hannah Montana and dressing up and singing in front of the TV. And my parents were like, oh, that's cute. She'll grow out of it. Never grew out of it. Always wanted to perform. Always wanted to, have the camera on me. Whatever it was, dancing, cheerleading, being in a play. I loved it all. Just loved creating. And then now, even as an author, my mom reminded me, you were writing books in second grade and you wanted to self-publish then, and you wrote a book about a horse or whatever it was. And so these are things this is the book, everyone, not about a horse. Yeah. I think it's a lot more intelligent. But she reminded me that this really was who I've always been. And I think I've just been fortunate enough to really just embrace that. And everyone around me has always, pushed that. I'm from a small town. It was definitely odd. It was definitely
my cousin's town, right?
Yeah, your cousin's town.
Where I go every Easter.
Yeah. No, we're from Baltimore, Maryland, and it definitely was a different path.
Yeah.
But I just had a really awesome family and friends that encouraged me to go for it.
So when were you like, all right, I'm moving to LA? How did that all...
Well, I started my career in New York as a actor, solely actor. That was my passion. I went to school for acting. That was the dream. Still is the dream. Obviously, I would love to act. Hire me. I'm available. But I just started my acting career right away in New York, lived there for years, and then COVID hit, and I thought, ooh, if acting isn't here, am I happy in New York? Or am I just here to act?
Yeah.
And so that's why I just explored other places I could live where I could still act, but maybe just be happier. I love nature. I'm not going camping anytime soon, but I do love greenery.
Right.
And so I just thought, oh, we should try LA. And I always told myself I wanted to try LA before I settled down and got married and have kids. So then when Riley was like, yeah, let's do it, I was like, cool. And he found a job and we moved here, I think 4 years ago.
Yeah. Because I've been here 3.5 years. So
yeah, around the same time. So I'm still kind of new to LA, but I know this is home. I know this is where I want to be.
And then how did you decide, okay, I'm going to get into modeling?
That, honestly, that kind of just not fell into my lap. But when you're in the acting world, a lot of your managers just want to pimp you out any other way they can. So just putting that plainly. So, at the point where someone offered me to be in front of a camera and I get money, sure. I haven't done anything high fashion or, actually, no, I did one runway show. That's it though. I'm a little short for runway, but
which is crazy because I think of you as very tall, but
really, I think I just, it's the hair usually I have really big hair. But no, I just do a lot of, print ads and whatever's going to pay me money where I can be in front of the camera within reason. I will usually do.
And this is why I love talking to actors. Cause I'm like, every creative, if you're going to pursue it professionally, you are going to hear no 1,000,001 times. It's just, and it's a constant battle of you live in a state of rejection. And rejection is one of those things where it's very hard to separate of why you like to create for yourself, for your being, for your sparkle. But then professionally, it's okay, well, now that's affecting my light. Yeah. How are you balancing that? Because you've been doing this since you were a kid, right? That's kind of just your essence. But how do you battle rejection either in like modeling or acting?
I always think I get it down. And then it slips.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I got to a really, really, really good place this year.
Yeah.
I thought I finally, because now I have other outlets, right? I'm writing, I'm doing TikTok. I haven't put all my eggs in one basket. So I thought this year I'm fine.
Yeah.
I've matured. Then there's that one audition that comes up and you're like, I'm perfect. I'm perfect for this. This is my role.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't get it. And then you see who got it. And then it's another, phase. And then you're like, and then you have to sit with that and be like, they just didn't want me.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Sometimes it rolls off my shoulder and it's no big deal. And then sometimes I have to take a day and I have to be sad and I have to mourn it because I thought it was mine and it's not.
Yeah.
So I don't have a good answer for you because I don't think I have it figured out yet.
And
but I'm trying.
I'm sure these auditions, they literally require every part of you. You're stepping into a whole nother character. Like, what's your favorite thing to do to kind of like get back in touch with yourself when you've gone through something like that?
I just like to remind myself that this is the job. Auditioning is the job, and there's a million girls who didn't get that audition and would have killed for the audition. And I was in front of the right people, and sometimes they get really close and they remember me and they bring me on to another project. So I just like to think of it as it's part of the process and it's one step closer. Riley always reminds me of that. He says like, it's a sign that you're close. It's not a sign that you're far away.
Yeah.
The fact that you get the audition shows that you should be doing this.
Yeah.
So that's helpful.
I think it's also intuitively too. Like you're going to perform better when you know you're close, but that I call it the great in between.
Yeah.
Like my whole life is like the great in between. And like, I always wonder like, what does that look like one day?
When you make it, what does that look like? Yeah.
Or like, just like, okay. So like, I've always just been someone that's like, my coaches used to say, they used to be like, you're never satisfied. I'm like, isn't that kind of a good thing? But I do also
that makes you driven. That makes you do all of these amazing things because you want more.
Yeah. But it's also like, even when you get like the role that you were like, it was perfect. I was perfect.
Yeah.
And then you get it. Like, what are you going to feel?
What's next?
Yeah. It's always going to be that. So it's just like constant like hamster wheel in the best way possible.
And then I get the post-job blues where like, oh, I just shot a movie. Like, this is it. I've made it. And then nothing after that. Wait, what do you mean? I thought I was a movie star now. And then you just go back to your normal life. And so I think that's just my constant journey is realizing it's just figuring out how to live in this creative world and do the ups and downs and still be happy and still just make sure I have other outlets. And yeah.
Do you ever like, okay, so obviously there's all different types of actors. And some like take their character into their personal life. They just embody it fully.
Yeah.
What kind of actor are you and how do you that disconnect and that post like movie blues? Like what is that like for you to disconnect with that character you've embodied for so long?
Well, that's a good question. I think the only time I really had to grapple with that was with a thriller movie I did on Lifetime. I think you can see it on Hulu as well. It's called One Night Stand Murder. And I was just in a constant state of anxiety in the whole film because I was being chased and I was being tracked and I was being framed for something I didn't do. So I think I developed a little bit of a just I was erratic. Like, and so I feel like falling out of that, like I feel like even just eating and getting back to working out and getting back to my life normally was a little bit of a shift. But I wouldn't consider myself a method actor or anything like that. No shade on method actors. I do like to be the person who's just a real human, and then you yell action and I'm there and I'm locked in and I'm whoever, because I've done the work before I got here.
Right.
So I think it's a bit easier of a switch for me because that's just how I trained.
Yeah. And so how do you kind of like take what you were trained with, right, years ago, but then now as you get older, like what is your practice for kind of like putting your own spin on your craft, whether that be acting or modeling?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one too. You're good at this.
Thanks. I try.
My own spin on it. I think my practice right now, as far as acting, is really just trusting the words and trusting the script. I'm a reader at heart.
Yeah.
So I will read it until the words are in my bones. And I don't even try to assign feelings and emotions to it. I think I just try to read the text for what it is and understand it and analyze it. And then it's really day of what I'm feeling, what I'm getting from my co-star and just letting the scene evolve that way. And then just really trusting the team, trusting the directors, trusting the environment, everyone to, mold me. Cause that's what you really have to be at the end of the day is a canvas.
Yeah.
And it's not just me. It's people see things I don't.
Right.
So my practice is just learning the words, trusting the words, and then day of trusting my team and, being in the moment and feeling things then and there.
Yeah. And what's like your favorite part of reading a script when you get it?
I think I just love reading scripts, honestly. I love seeing where things go. I love seeing a character arc. I love seeing a plot twist. I love seeing just as an actor, what other characters say about my character because the character's not usually aware. You're not aware of what other people are saying about you behind your back.
Right.
But then when you read a script, you get to know what other people are saying about you behind your back. I always think that's kind of interesting. But I love the whole process. I'm obsessed with it. Can't wait to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm craving it.
And then you said, what I love, you use the word pivot, right? Because we live in a very different Hollywood than probably what we were taught. And even when we first moved here, the rhetoric that we were kind of given. Obviously, everything is kind of around social media.
Yeah.
News travels faster to social media than it does outlets anymore. And I love the creativity that you put in, not only just yourself around your social media, your TikTok specifically, but with your husband.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Were you afraid to start putting yourself out there with your husband?
Yeah, I think it did not start as a me and Riley thing. It started as just me being like, okay, acting is slow.
Yeah.
How can I make money? I'm already doing content on the side for brands, but there's a lot more money when you post on your own page and you build your own following, and it can help everything. It can help acting. It can help my book.
Yeah.
There's no negative to having a following. So I thought I got to start posting. Might as well. And so I just started posting my makeup, my hair, nothing. No one cares. Posted one video of Riley. Blew up. They loved him. They were like, this man, green flag. I was like, okay, I see you guys. So then it kind of just happened organically where I was like, okay, they don't care about my hair. You do my hair. They loved it.
I do like that series. It's very cute.
It just started to work and we got a good response. And then it's fun too. It's fun for us. We're really not doing anything that we wouldn't be doing in our normal day. It's usually me telling him about my books.
Right.
It's him doing my hair. Got to do my hair either way. Might as well have him do it and film it. So it's easier now that he's involved. Yeah.
Yeah. Expedite the process.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for.
It's really so much easier.
No,
that's kind of how it evolved. It just was like, I'm going to post because acting is slow. There's a shutdown.
Right.
Riley, get in here.
And what was that like, kind of just dealing with the strike? And like, did you kind of just like completely focus on the content creation?
Yeah. And this book wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Without the shutdown.
Look how beautiful this cover is. The Shadow of Mortalis.
Shadow of Mortalis.
It is a fantasy smut because we love it. TikTok.
We love some smut.
Yes. And it's, it's kind of just like what we need as far as the movement of nostalgia that's coming back. Like we see this resurgence of Twilight. We're getting new Harry Potter movie, it's going to be a show.
Yeah.
We're getting new Harry Potter. It's there. And obviously there's so many other book series that have taken over Book Talk, which is really cool.
Yeah. And I love them all. I've read them all.
You love them all. Yeah. Okay, so what does your reading schedule look like? Because before you got here, you've talked about reading multiple times. It's all over your TikTok.
Huge reader.
Like how many books do you read a week though?
I'm not insane.
Okay.
One or two.
Okay.
1 or 2 books a week. I'm reading Direbound right now by Sable Sorensen, and I'm loving it. But I've always been a reader, and I think I read so much that when the idea came up to start writing, I thought, I just love this genre so much, and I think I understand it.
Yeah.
And even if this goes nowhere, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So me and a few friends just tried.
Yeah. So obviously this does not say, if you are watching this, you're not seeing Casey's name. So they actually use a pseudonym, Cynthia Scarlett, because a bunch of them wrote together.
And it just would be crazy to list all there's 3 of us, but no one likes seeing a bunch of names. So we thought, let's just do a pen name.
Yeah, but no, I don't think I've told you this yet, but like
Yeah.
I love pen names. Like
Really? A lot of pen names, you don't even know they are one until
Right.
you try to Google the author and you're like, wait, they don't exist.
So Elena Ferrante, that pseudonym, I'm obsessed with that whole
Ooh.
search for that Italian book series. But how I fell in love with them was actually as a little girl for do you remember A Series of Fortunate Events?
Yes.
And
Is that a pen name?
Yeah, so Lemony Snicket is like a character in A Series of Fortunate Events and that world. And so it's really like, that's when I was like, this is so inventive.
Yeah.
Like it is a character in this whole plot.
Yeah.
And it doesn't reveal itself until there's 13 books, I think, until maybe like book 10 or 11.
Ooh.
So it comes really full circle because you think Lemony Snicket's a real person.
Yeah.
And back then, you know, you weren't on like
Wonder if
the
it's
internet.
Friends. Was it Two Friends?
I'm going to, after this, I should have looked it up before this, but I kind of share that because it was like, as soon as you announced it, I was like very drawn to like, okay, what's the reason?
Mystery.
Yes. The absolute mystery behind it. But going back to smut and book talk. So why do you think that, like, just in your opinion, why do you think so many women escape to this genre, and why smut? Like, why do they see themselves in these narratives? Probably not saying more than any other narrative, but like it's up there.
I can't help but want to compare it to the state of the world and why we all crave escapism right now.
Yeah.
My husband's the same way. His vice is video games. I think this is ours.
Yeah.
I think everyone needs something to take them out of work, 9 to 5, the kids got to go to soccer and you know, like I think everyone just needs their escape. And some people do that with sports. Some people do that with video games. And I think this is a new way for the dreamers and the girls who love to play pretend to escape.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to be fairies when we were little girls, and now we can be adult fairies.
I
in
wanted
these
to
books.
be a mermaid.
There's a book for you then.
Yeah, there is. I'm sure there's many actually.
Yeah.
And I love how
that's
they're
why.
like very rooted in like folklore too.
And romance.
And romance.
You know, dating is, I mean, we're both in happy relationships.
Yes.
But from what I hear, dating is a nightmare these days. And why not go into this book and have the 6'5" fey man with tattoos and wings be obsessed with you and do anything to protect you? Obviously, everyone wants that.
Yeah. And that's why they're addicting. But I also find it interesting because obviously people co-write books together all the time. It's not unheard of, but especially for a genre like this, you typically see that maybe if you're building a script together in a writer's room, or maybe even like the narrative driven podcasts that are taking over. What made you be like, no, we're doing this collectively? How did that go creatively?
It was so much fun. Honestly, the writing part was easy because we didn't know it would get this far. We were just doing it for fun. We of course thought we'll publish it one day, but we were just bored.
Yeah.
My friend was here shooting a film, and she had a lot of free time, and it was also during the strike, so money's tight. We can't be going out to dinner every day. She was staying with me for 2 weeks. We thought, what can we do? And I was like, has anyone ever wanted to write a book? And I showed her my notes app, and they're horrible ideas. They were like Italian mobster vampire romance, like just bad ideas. And she was like, but what if this? And then my other best friend and neighbor came down, and we were all just drinking wine. And she was like, but what if this? And then, what if it was this character and that? And so then we started just kind of loosely drafting a plot over wine. And then the next day we woke up and we're like, that's a sick idea.
Yeah.
And so she obviously was here for 2 weeks. So the next day we did the same thing. And then before she left, we had drafted chapter by chapter what we wanted a plot to look like. And then once she went home, we all would go in and write a chapter and then rewrite the chapter. And then I'd wake up. It was like Christmas morning. Every morning I'd wake up and see who wrote what and, say yes or say, what about this? And it was just so collaborative and so fun.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys really divided the work in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But it did require like the planning of the plot beforehand.
I think that's what really helped us is that we knew where we wanted the story to go. We didn't just write blindly.
Yeah.
We knew our plot. We knew our characters. Things changed. A lot of things changed. But for the most part, the first manuscript, we knew what we wanted. And so it wasn't a huge surprise what chapter 2 was because we planned chapter 2. It was a surprise how they wrote it.
Yeah.
And then it was a collaborative effort editing that chapter.
Yeah, and I feel like, okay, so with the character building of it all, right? At least I know, like, I do a lot more nonfiction than fiction, but there's a lot of cut, kill, combine in building a character and through revision. But I also find that sometimes when you're building a character, you're trying to put so many different stories and symbolism, whether it's your personal anecdote or others. How, with 3 people, did you really decide how these characters were going to be influenced from the outside world? Because my belief is that even if you're writing fiction, okay, vampires, 99% chance they're not real.
Yeah.
But there's always truth in fiction.
And we all have the, you know, crazy ex who's erratic, and that's our Caliph. And we all have, you know, someone who is a little possessive, and that's like the variant. So we all pulled from our real lives, obviously, but we all knew what we wanted to represent at the end of the day. We knew we wanted representation in the book. We knew we wanted a black princess. We knew we wanted gay kings.
Yeah.
We knew we wanted, like, we had an idea of the people we wanted. And then we kind of they shaped organically. We knew we wanted a cruel king, right? But then it's like, how do you make that real and not one note?
Right.
And how can he be really poised and it's all behind the scenes and only our FMC knows what's happening behind closed doors? And I think beta readers helped us a lot with that, because we wrote it, we gave it to beta readers, and they came back and they were like, Nasiria reads really young. And we were like, no, what do you mean? Of course. But then we reread it and we're like, yeah, no, there is something really youthful to her, but it's beautiful. But how can we tweak it so she seems more real, more lived in, more experienced? If she had that much trauma, she should carry herself a bit differently. So then we added a little bit more attitude and a bit more pushback and a bit more strength. And I think what we landed on was a really 3D person that is so real to us, the writers, and hopefully the readers too.
Yeah. Do you want to read your favorite page?
Oh, yes, I will.
Yes.
This is what we presented at the launch party, just because it's such a fun reveal of the MMC.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit about him, because obviously we all want to know who the MMC is. Okay. I'm nervous.
Oh, don't be.
I've never read out loud on camera. Okay. Okay, here we go. He carried himself with the confidence of someone painfully aware of his own appeal. Every movement laced with self-assured arrogance that set her teeth on edge. His angular features were almost too perfect. His strong jaw and sculpted brow made him infuriatingly beautiful. His piercing blue eyes met hers as she stood, paralyzed, dread coating her every sense. Anyone but him. But despite all her prayers to the goddess Mortalis, despite all the time she had avoided being mated, she couldn't stop the threads of fate as Prince Varian Dolagar spoke. Hello, little shadow, he said. And that's our intro to the MMC.
Voice acting soon?
I'm down.
Audiobooks?
I'll do it. But yeah, so that's a little bit of when she first sees him, when she's forced into a engagement with a vampire prince from a different land. And she had saw him in a compromising position the chapter before. So that's why she's like, oh no, please not him. And he's like, hello. And he gave her that nickname the previous chapter too. So
it's always the nicknames.
We love a good nickname.
Especially in these smut novels. Oh my God.
Yes.
And then what was it like building the world? Because your world's very unique, right?
It is. So I want to shout out the map really quick.
Yeah, the map is beautiful.
This is hand-drawn art from one of my co-authors. She is brilliant. Every little thing you see here, the vineyards, the castles, the trees, she hand did everything.
That's awesome.
And then you have this little layout of the world. So we knew we wanted vampires. We knew we wanted I can't say too much because it might give away some plot, but we knew we wanted vampires and necromancers, which is, if you don't know, you can see and speak to the dead. So then we kind of just went from there. I thought, what sounds cool? What sounds like a land of the dead? Something mort is death in a lot of languages. So we thought Mortalis sounds pretty.
Yeah.
And then Krav is blood in Russian.
Oh, nice.
So Krav was our land for that. And we kind of just had fun with different languages. So the ocean is the okeanos. That's Greek for ocean. Natura just felt like nature. We just switched that word up a little bit. Creating the world was the most fun because then we just got to play and imagine and go on Pinterest and find things. And we knew we liked purple. We knew we liked red, and we really leaned into colors and how they made us feel. That's why we have
purple and red here, guys.
Exactly. You came on theme.
I try.
But yeah.
I mean, I think like it's so cool that you mentioned Pinterest. So like, did you essentially have an idea of the world and then you built a Pinterest board, or did you? Okay, so you didn't discover necessarily through Pinterest.
No, if anything, maybe every now and then we were inspired. We'd see an outfit on Pinterest. Okay. A lot of outfits and dresses specifically. We love fashion. Yeah. So sometimes we'd see an outfit on Pinterest, something Victorian, something fabulous, and then we're like, okay, let's describe that. Her lace cuffs and the bodice, and we would describe what we saw. But for the most part, all of us were like, what if she was wearing this? And then we would write that down and honestly just describe it from what we saw in our heads. Yeah. And we'd go back and forth until we all saw the same thing. Right. Something as simple as, should the castle be on a cliff or should it be, the center of the town? And we would just drink wine and gab, honestly.
I love that.
And create
it sounds
this world.
Like we need to do that all the time, even if it never amounts to a full-blown book that's released. Like, I would join that club.
Yeah, it's like Dungeons and Dragons. So you just create a fake world with your friends.
It is literally women's video games. What the heck?
It is.
We should also just make a video game out of this book.
I'm hoping it'll be a movie soon, is my hope.
Yeah, no, I mean, the IP's there for all of it, so anyone listening, get on it. Actually, I have someone for you for this.
A producer's reading it right now. I don't know if anything's going to happen from it or not. She's lovely, and but that's the dream. We've already have casting in our heads. We wrote ourselves into the book.
I love that.
If you want to figure out who is who, just read the book. You'll notice there's little hints here and there.
And back to the boards a little bit, like I think it's a really good prompt to kind of build boards or play. Like I do playlists a lot. Yeah. Around essentially the aesthetic of the project that you're working on, because I'm sure you get this as an actor too. It's like you have to be able to see and immerse yourself into the world that you're building and the characters that you're building. But that's where writing is very different than making a movie, because a movie you have the cast and you have the camera to play it back, right?
You have everything you need.
Yes, you have a set. And that's why writing is so isolating, but you guys found a way to make it not isolating.
It felt freeing. It felt just like, I keep saying this to everyone that's like, oh, what's it like writing with friends? And was it hard? And I'm like, no, the writing was the fun part. Business is the hard part. Yeah. This is like the after is what's difficult. Yeah. Should we put money behind this post? Should we, for the launch party, what's our budget? That's the stuff that's not fun. Yeah. Just sitting with your friends and creating a fake world, a blast. Writing and rewriting, so fun. Deadlines, not fun.
Yeah, so how did you manage deadlines with friends, basically?
Oh, it's so tough. Like I have a very flexible schedule. I'm a content creator and I'm an actor. Yeah. Candidly, I didn't work a lot last year acting wise. I did a lot of content for brands and a lot of my own TikTok, and then a commercial once a month. Yeah. So I had all the time in the world to write. My other co-writers, different story. So, a deadline was a bit easier for me to meet than at any other. So that part was tough, like balancing like 3 different schedules. We also have one writer on the East Coast and then we're on the West Coast. Yeah. My one writer travels a lot for work. So that part was definitely tough, but we're all really good friends at the end of the day, and we made it work.
Yeah, because I think it's also like deadlines are important, but if they are essentially ruining the creative process, right? Like I think with creativity, you can get yourself in sort of a rhythm, just like working out, right? Yeah. And when you're in that rhythm, you kind of create that space for yourself to escape back in that world. But sometimes it doesn't always just come when you're like, all right, I'm sitting down at my desk. It's going to come when you're in the middle of maybe even a work meeting, and all of a sudden your
mind, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. That happens to me all the time. And then I get so frustrated because I try really, really hard to create a routine and have that rhythm for myself, because I know rhythm is important. It's important to my creative process, but sometimes it comes almost like the way that it's supposed to. Yeah. But it's frustrating because it's like, I needed this to happen a month ago.
Right.
I needed this idea a month ago when I was talking to this person who could maybe bring that idea to life. But what I've also learned is like, you're the person that's supposed to bring it to life. Like, it's your mind coming up with that idea. Like, no one's coming to save you.
No, you have to do it at the end of the day. Like, if we just went back and forth about what about this, the book wouldn't exist. At some point, you got to send it.
Right.
You just got to send it. If there's a mistake, okay. And so what helped me was knowing that this is independently published. This is on Amazon. We did most of this.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, this book blows up. We get traditionally published. They go in, they re-edit. We can even sneak in a few changes if we don't like something. So that helped me a lot, meet the deadline, being like, okay, even if it's not perfect, which I'm happy with it, there's still room to change things. And fantasy is freeing. Next book, if there's something that didn't make sense first book, we can be like, oh, this is why.
Right.
And explain it book 2.
Yeah.
So that's really freeing. Rebecca Yarros actually said something about that when someone was like, this didn't make sense. And she was like, well, it'll make sense next book. She probably didn't even know where it was going.
And I think it's really important for writers to know that, because so many artists in general, they do struggle with that perfectionism.
Yeah.
And I think it's so freeing when you learn perfectionism can't exist.
Yeah. And I'm okay being messy.
Yeah,
fully.
Me too. This entire podcast is about embracing messiness.
Yeah.
I am, my half of the room is a mess right now.
Yeah. I'm okay being messy. I'm okay not being perfect. I think, and I'm just embracing that. If there's a typo, I'm sorry, we did this ourselves.
But there's a big difference about having a typo and it being out there.
Yeah. It's scary.
Than having it be on a shelf.
And someone being like, this is a mistake.
Yeah.
I think we did a really good job, and we had so many eyes on this. We hired editors. We did everything we could.
Right.
So I'm just being confident in that. I know that I did everything I could to make this as good as it could be.
Yeah.
And I think book 2 will even be better, and whatever we do down the line will be even better.
Yeah.
So I think that's what helps me when it comes to, sticking to a deadline and just sending it as an artist.
Yeah. And then you did touch on a very interesting point, because everywhere, whether it's creating content, making movies, making music, and writing books, it used to be you go try to get published with Penguin Random House. Like, self-publishing has been around, right? But that used to be the thing. Now, because of places like TikTok and because of this genre and Wattpad, you see so many authors do that model that you just created, or that you described, which was self-publish. It gets picked up by a bigger publisher for higher distribution. And then you go in and redo the work if needed. Why do you think this genre and kind of like adjacent genres around this do actually pretty well?
Indie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. I think social media is just giving us a platform where we can sell this ourselves. And also, as much as I don't love it, Amazon makes it easy. It allows you to not have to put up money up front. Yes, we paid to have a cover designer and an editor and all the things. There's a lot of money we put into this.
Yeah.
But I don't have to buy 3,000 books and hope they sell. I can just put it on Amazon and someone can order it, or they don't. I don't lose any money. I can only make money when it comes to selling it. So I think that's what's giving a lot of people the confidence to do it through that lane. And then as far as TikTok, like, I think we hit a genre when it's popular, and it's just easier for it to reach people than it was before. You don't need Penguin. Although I would love Penguin. Hi. But we don't need it. It could blow up and be picked up and made into a Netflix film, just like Quicksilver was.
Yeah.
So I think that's why TikTok's awesome. That's why I dedicated a whole year to posting on TikTok, because I see the power in it.
Yeah. No, I know. I got to get better about it.
For acting, for everything. It can help everything.
Yeah.
I have friends in production, and you don't know how many times they're like, oh, I really like this girl's acting, but she doesn't have followers. I hate it. It's gross.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But they have to sell a movie, and a movie's easier to sell with talent that brings an audience.
Right. And I do love when I love any content creator that kind of shares their book recommendations. I think it's one of the most unique niches for creating community.
Yeah.
What, other than your own book, what has been your favorite reads that you want to share with, the Sparkle community, your community, but especially about like, and what I love about fantasy is it is that overcoming darkness and finding the light. What, as far as those books, could you speak to about finding the light again?
Ooh, finding the light again. God, I mean, Throne of Glass changed me. Changed me.
Yeah.
And that's, I wouldn't even say a smutty, but that's Sayori Maas Akatar is what, blew up and made everyone love the genre.
Right.
But what she wrote in high school, and I'm sure re-edited and got a team behind, was Throne of Glass. And it's a 12-part series that follows so many different characters. And it is just a girl who's been through it all, has had a shit hand of cards dealt to her, and rises to become a queen. Like, just the most, great representation of a strong woman that I've ever read, I think, in a fantasy book. So I think Throne of Glass is what I would recommend the most. As far as what my favorite book was this year, I'm obsessed right now with Fairy Tale by Veronica Lancet.
Okay, yep.
I think it is so fun because it bends the genre a little bit. It's a little bit of fantasy, a little bit historical fiction, a little bit of romance. It's a little bit of gothic academia. It's a little bit of everything. So that's my favorite read this year. But Throne of Glass will change you if you haven't read it.
And then what are you excited for? I mean, some of them are already being adapted, but which ones are you excited for that'll be adaptations?
I mean, we're waiting on ACOTAR. We'll wait on ACOTAR forever. And I would love to play the Golden Queen, the human queen. I always say that. I'm trying to manifest playing that character.
You're manifesting it right now. Do you know how many people have talked about manifesting on this podcast this week?
We have to
love
manifest.
It. We're here for it.
Manifest everything.
Go off, queens.
So I want to play the human queen in ACOTAR because I'm sure they'll hire someone with a juicier resume for the big roles. So I'm being a little realistic, but I think I could do that role.
You can do it.
I'm excited for Quicksilver. I'm excited for Powerless. So many of them are being adapted. I think that guys get on it, producers get on it, because this genre, we're going to line up to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, the numbers are there.
The numbers are there. The fan base is there. You don't even need
fangirls.
Yeah, you don't even need an A-list actor. We will watch whoever it is.
That's the thing is like it doesn't have to be this like very expensive production either.
No, because the book has the fan base attached.
Yes.
Did we know a single person in Twilight when Twilight came out?
I was literally just about to say,
we didn't
do
know
you guys
anybody.
remember Twilight? Do you remember how we're sitting here, 13 years later, and we are all still freaking out about Twilight?
And they were acting their whole lives, but that put them on the map. That put Robert Pattinson on the map.
And that first movie was not expensive to me.
No, and it wasn't good, but we watched it and we loved it.
And we still watch it every year.
It's about that time again.
No, that soundtrack has been playing in my car, and I'm like, all right, when am I having a Twilight marathon? Because I'll watch them all at once. So
I'm down.
Christmas time is Harry Potter.
Yes, obviously.
So we got to fit in between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Twilight is now Harry Potter Christmas.
Okay, so we're going to talk about when we're doing this after. Okay, great.
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
With a themed dinner.
Yeah, I like that
Harry
idea.
Potter. That's easy to do a themed dinner too.
Yeah.
I just put away my Harry Potter lights. I'll have to bring them back out. I literally have my TikTok Harry Potter lights.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Also, I need to take, Tom hasn't been to any of the parks yet. We could go to Universal and have butterbeer.
That's true. Rye hasn't been either.
Okay, we're getting that on the books. Guys, we have scheduling to do. Is there anything, we're obviously going to share how you can get the book. She already said it, Amazon.
Yeah. Amazon, The Shadow of Mortalis by Cynthia A. Scarlett.
You can also find Cynthia Scarlett's Instagram too, which is all the promo for the book.
Everything's just Cynthia A. Scarlett on TikTok, Instagram. Yeah. Working on a website. But yeah, if you love romantasy, I'm confident you'll love this. Give us a shot.
Yes. And last question. How do you practice your sparkle every day? You're embodying it right now. Your outfit's amazing. I need to borrow it.
I literally wore this just for you.
I love it. And I wore this just for you. How cute are we?
We're so cute. How do I embody my sparkle? I think I do my best to take care of myself.
Yeah.
I whether it's working out or eating good or bad, just whatever I want to do. I just try to give myself one moment of just something that makes me feel happy a day. you know, reading my books. Hobbies are huge for me. Painting. I love Bob Ross. Just leaning into what makes me happy. And I think that's what makes me sparkle.
Yeah, women doing whatever they want. Sparkle
Do
on.
whatever you want.
Whatever. All right. Sparkle on, everyone.
Sparkle on.